Hello there, and welcome to this week's France Buying Guide's YouTube presentation. Well, this week I'm just going to touch briefly on the buying process in France. This is actually straightforward and very well regulated. The process, in my view, is better than the English one. You're more sure, there's less, in fact, if anything, it hardly ever happens at all, gazumping in France. This is because when you get to sign the first contract, the equivalent of our exchange, which is called the compromis de vente, the seller, once he's signed, is bound to go through with the sale. So you're much more safe in knowing you will actually end up with the property you want. You, as the buyer, also sign, and you have 7 days, what they call cooling off period, in which to change your mind if you so wish. Now, at this point, on this particular act, you can include what's called clause suspensive. You can put in it what you like, as long as the seller agrees. For example, if you're applying for a mortgage or a loan, you should put that in. In other words, if, say, the loan didn't come through and you've got that in there, you would then have a get-out clause at the end. Similarly, for example, if you wanted to get planning permission for something, for the outside or to build something else, then that should go in, because if that didn't come through, again, you wouldn't have to go through with the sale. So it's important to get your clauses correctly drawn up, and for this we would highly recommend employing the services of a bilingual solicitor. Although you will cost you a little bit of money, it's well worth it in the long run. You need to get it exactly correctly, and he will advise you not only on what you put in there, but what you might want to leave out too. So come back to us for that if you'd like to be recommended to a bilingual solicitor. Just email me or have a look on our website here below me. Now, a notaire is appointed. He acts on behalf of the government. He acts impartially on behalf of both the buyer and the seller. He's simply there to make sure that the legal process is carried out properly. His fees are something like between 4 and 8%. It's on a sliding scale. They're actually set in stone. It's drawn up like that. So bear that in mind. Your agent will charge you something like anything between 4 and 10%. But the prices you see advertised normally do include the agent's fees, although not always the notaire's fees. So double check that just to make sure you know what you're in for. So you sign your compromis. Usually about 3 months after that is the signing of the acte de vente, which is like our completion. So you have 3 months to let it all sink in and think about your currency exchange, for which I would recommend you talk to one of the chaps at Smart. Smart will always offer you a better rate, a much better rate. Don't ever go to your bank for your currency exchange. When you're exchanging a lot of money like that, and the difference in the rate differs by even a small percentage, on a large amount of money, you can save hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. So have a word with one of the Smart chaps and set up your currency transfer well in advance. Then, as I say, 3 months later, it's the acte de vente. You'll go to the notaire's office for that. It'll something of a ceremonious affair. He will read out all of the regulations, all of the sale, and once your money has gone through, then you will get the keys in your hot little hand. That's really a time for celebration. Sometimes some notaires will be there and offer you a glass of wine. If not, I suggest you go to your local bar and get yourself a glass of champagne and pat yourself on the back. So that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do keep your comments and suggestions coming. It's great to hear from you. And if you have any particular burning topic that you'd like me to cover here, just say so and I'll try and do that for you. Meanwhile, the sun's still shining down here in the south of France. Mid-November, it's about 18 degrees. So I wish you well, bonne santé, vive la France as always, and see you next week. Cheers!